Hello there. How are you doing? I wasn't going to come on live tonight, but I decided to. I'm not sure. I probably will. Um, by the way, welcome to Hollywoodland22. I come on and have a variety channel, and you guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can ask me any questions, just as long as it's not going to get me bananaed off of TikTok. Um, I have made some decisions about some things and not decisions about others. Still indecisive about some other things. Um, about YouTube, I believe I will stay here on YouTube. And I'll have this channel might develop into something that's more multifaceted. As far as TikTok, I'm going to stay off of TikTok as far as streaming. I'm not going to live stream on TikTok. If I ever do decide to go back to TikTok to live streaming, it'll be much later on. You know, you can have what I would call a parasocial relationship on with another human being when you're a live streamer. It could develop into a friendship. It's possible. But many times I've found, especially on TikTok, not so much on YouTube. On YouTube, people will let you know if they're a troll or someone that doesn't like you or they're an asshole pretty fast. That's been my experience with YouTube. But on TikTok, there are a lot of beggars. There's a lot of people that are begging in very clever ways. There are people that are misrepresenting who they are. Liars. And sometimes you really can't tell. You got people that it's really mockery, to tell you the truth, unless it's true. There's this one individual that I watched on a couple different people I watched on TikTok that were one has a very slow channel and one has a very busy channel. One's a man and one is a woman. And the man has a very busy channel. And he's doing an acting job. He's acting as if he has something that's actually very serious with no cure, called dissociative identity disorder, what they used to call multiple personalities, which is some type of psychological disorder that comes into being with some individuals that have had trauma in their life, usually as a child trauma, so some kind of trauma. And they develop multiple personalities and stuff to protect themselves inside. I'm not sure if neuropsychologists can work with some of these people and try to fix that problem as much as possible. I really don't think there's a cure for that. It can be managed with psychotherapy, probably with some medications. But you know what medications do is they really are just, they're different ways of sedating someone so they don't have to feel But there's another woman I was watching on TikTok, and it's really hard. It's not on her. It's on me. I cannot tell if she has a real mental illness, like some type of either schizoaffective disorder, which is a mood disorder, and a schizophrenic disorder, which is mixed. That means that they either A or B have audio hallucinations and or visual hallucinations, and it's mixed with manic depressive illness. That's called schizoaffective. Um, if this, I can't tell if this person has this for real because I'm not a trained psychiatrist, or if this person is making a mockery of people that have that type of unfortunate mental illness. You know, if they really do have split personalities, and they're making a mockery at it by making pretend to have it. I mean, they sit there and they say they're talking to their different personalities or talking to their different ideas, and they turn their head like this and they say one thing and then, you know, back and forth as if they're listening to people that are talking to them. Like they're acting like they're hearing voices, audio hallucinations. Now, if this person really has this, then I I feel bad for them. Hope they can get some help. But if they're making a mockery of a mental illness, then I think that is truly evil. And I don't like game players. I don't like watching channels where that's happening. And I've already found two people that I think, well, at least one of them I know is making a mockery of mental illness. The woman, I don't know if she's really mentally ill or not. I can't put my finger on it. She has a very high IQ. And she can be very pleasant at times. But I'm not sure what's going on. And I just find it disturbing. I find that when I go on TikTok, there's some wonderful people on TikTok, and there's also some very disturbing things on TikToks. And I'm not sure I want to watch TikTok anymore. I don't really want that I don't want to be watching a live streamer and then find out, a few weeks or a couple of months later that they're not a decent person. You know, it's just too much ugly for me. And when you get older, when you get over the age of 50, you don't want to see ugly really anymore. A lot of people don't want to look at that every day. It's really unhealthy. You know, usually I'm a little bit more upbeat, but I just want to let you know that that happened to me. Maybe you've gone through the same thing as a viewer. Maybe you feel like you've been misled by a live streamer. I look and sound like Ron White, really? CJ, 548. Hey, the comedian, really? That's probably a better idea. Well, you know what the priest told me. They said that people can and will fail you, but Jesus never will fail you. Maybe he's right. Dylan Velo, CA 6698. Every streamer is wrong about something at some point. You mean wrong with their facts, like actual facts, or do you mean like like they're playing an act, and then you find out that they're actually not the person they're misrepresenting who they really are. They're like a lung troll. They're like a streamer that's trolling you, huh? Instead of somebody in the chat trolling you, and then you find out, a few months later that they're the biggest jerks on the face of the earth. Correct. Most streamers are wrong about the information they present. They're either incorrect about their whatever they're talking about, or they're faking who they really are. They're acting nice. They're acting friendly. But in real life, they're really not that. They're very selfish people in real life. They're not as unselfish, and they don't have the jovial dispositions and the humorous dispositions that they show. They're truly actresses and actors in real life, and sometimes on screen you can detect it, that they're not nice people. They're not really kind people. They really are on this app strictly to make money, and they really are acting. At least when you watch television, when you watch a television show, those are actors. That's not the way they really are, but that's understood. They're actors. They're playing a part. I have to remember that with TikTok and Twitch and YouTube and all these other channels. A lot. I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas on what percentage of people are really not the person that you think they are on TikTok? Is it 50%? Is it higher than that? Especially at a job, right? If you're too genuine at a job, you can get fired, I guess. Quite well, yeah. Thanks for explaining that to me, Dylan. Life becomes easier when you understand that everyone fails to be genuine at some point, and everyone changes over the years. People do change over the years. I've changed a lot in many ways since I was a certain way between like 18 and 23 years old, and then I was a slightly different person between 23 and about my late 20s. And after 30, I was a different person. Then I really started to change after the age of somewhere around the age of my late 30s. I started to change. I started to become less selfish and self-centered. I'll tell you, after the last say somewhere around my early 50s, I just did not want to go out and be a social butterfly that I used to be. I just wanted to have very small circle of good friends and family members that I trust. And my partner here, my lovely wife, Julie Newman, our girlfriend, longtime girlfriend. But you know what? Even me, and I'm a fairly, I know what my IQ is. It's 128. 128 or 129. I can't remember. Something like that. But It's even I can be fooled, and I can size somebody up pretty fast, but not when they're live streaming. A live streamer, some of them I can't figure out that they're just like a fancy beggar, a glorified beggar, and doesn't really care about the people that are watching them. I sometimes I cannot tell. Most of the time I can, but sometimes some people are pretty good at their little acting job. I mean, I don't know, maybe some of you don't realize this, but I'm really not doing YouTube for monetary gain or anything. Well, not at this point. I just like to learn things from people, and I like to meet new people that I can learn something from, and they can learn from me. No, I don't have multiple personalities. A small circle is good. FFIIELLDD said, I've seen a lot of folks on YouTube doing that. I like North Carolina right now. It's neighbors are friendly. It's a nice place. It reminds me of Virginia a little bit. I just can't figure out this person. If this person is an actress, then man, she must be the best actress I've ever seen in my life. That never went to Hollywood. Because I really can't tell if she has dissociative identity disorder, which, if you don't know, used to be called multiple personalities, which is a real thing. Actually, I've talked to a psychiatrist about it. It's very rare, but it's something that happens. North Carolina is nice, especially my grandmother and grandfather mountain. However, the infrastructure is lacking consistently around the state, with exception to one or two cities. Yeah, I did notice that some of the suburbs around Charlotte and Raleigh, particularly Charlotte, there there's so many people moving here so fast that it's hard to keep up with preventing bottlenecks and keeping the roads maintained and widening the roads and making sure that sidewalks on the side of roads are correct. They got some secondary roads that go through suburban towns like Matthews and other places in Concord. And a lot of freeway level traffic is on secondary roads with big giant trucks coming right by you when you're walking on a sidewalk to the Circle K or something like that. It's kind of scary. Many neighborhoods do not have sidewalks, especially in Charlotte itself. Raleigh's like that too. Some neighborhoods do not have sidewalks. Fayetteville is like that. Charlotte's full of night. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've met locals and I met a lot of people from the tri state area. That's New York, Western Connecticut, Northern New Jersey, and parts of Pennsylvania. The tri state area, the Delaware Valley, the Philadelphia, South Jersey area. I've met a lot of people that have moved down here from there. A lot of people from the San Francisco Bay Area and Silicon Valley have moved here also. And also Washington, D.C. And we're also getting people that have changed their mind about Florida, and they've decided after moving there they cannot really afford it, and they've decided to move up here. Odd. Wilmington's growing fast. I grew up in Philadelphia, and then later on, when I was older, as a teenager, when I was like 18 through about 21, I lived in the suburbs of Philadelphia. It doesn't seem much different from that, the Raleigh suburbs. I lived in Los Angeles for 34 years. Hi, Dean. How are you doing? I shall return in one moment. Huh? I feel like I.
What's this?
They're all on.
What's that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess they are.
I have one of yours.
Yeah. Yep. I guess so.
You're going to get one pretty soon. What's today's date?
Today is the 6th.
You got 14, 15 plus 15 plus 6 is 21. You got 21 in there?
Yes.
Well, like people put on an accent about who they are and then turn on. There are live streamers. There's live streamers that are actually doing the phone with people. Have you run into somebody that did that to you? A live streamer that was presenting themselves as one way, but they were just a fancy beggar? No. They're just trying to get money off you. They don't really care about you. They don't even watch your streams. Like if you tell them you're a live streamer, they don't watch your streams. I'll tell you what, at least Katie looked at my stream. At least Katie is a real enough person that she watched my stream. A lot of people don't do that. You don't have anything else to drink? There's no more soda here. Is that soda pop I can have?
Cherry 7-Up. Would you like to?
Did you ever drink directly out of this? Does it still have bubbles?
Yeah, I don't know. I made it.
So you're getting more on the sick, right? On the sick.
Yep.
And the sick is today is what?
16.
Did you drink yours for today?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You need 21 of them, right? You have 24 down there and you have extras up there. Can I have your extras or do you want them? You want me fucking around here? Are you serious anymore? What are you doing now? What are you doing? Are you vacuuming? Are you going to vacuum? That's very kind of you. What are we talking about? Let's see what we're talking about right now. Counting the damn sodas. That's right. I'm counting the sodas. Well, you guys are getting good conversations with each other. I like that. Dean Wilkinson. I live in London. Is Starmer is he a prime minister or a president? Well, London's always had a problem with pickpockets in certain areas, like Philadelphia and Boston and New York do. I'm sure Paris has that problem too. Dang, that's terrible. Knives, watch thefts, pickpockets. What are the police not doing much? Yes, I'm counting my sodas. Paris is unrecognizable. My brother lives in Florida. He took his family to Paris. He told me the outskirts of Paris are unrecognizable. He thought he was in a bazaar in the Middle East. Paris did used to be the place people wanted to visit, whether or not people in Paris were stuck up or not. It didn't make any difference. It didn't make any difference, but yeah. Dylan Velocola, 6696. I am about to sleep, but I wanted to say thank you for not being a political streamer and the platform of misinformation and division. It's a nice change from the nonstop hate and lies on both sides. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, I'm kind of a political centrist. I don't like the division either. I try to shy away from politics on this channel. There's all kinds of other things to talk about. Although it is kind of hard, you know, politics is kind of intertwined with what's going on in Iran right now. It's something that's going on. We have very little control over that stuff other than we get to vote for our legislators at a municipal, county or province or state level, whatever you call it in your country, and at a federal level. That's all we can do is vote if we're citizens of whatever country we live in. Some countries, I guess you're not allowed to vote. Can't we all just get along? You know, didn't Rodney King say that in Los Angeles in 1991? Can't we all just get along? I used to live very close to where Rodney King got pulled over. Yeah, I'm sick of these wars too. You know, they're always having a war in Africa. Africa has had wars. There's wars. I looked up how many wars are going on in the world that they never put on our televisions. I mean, you might catch it on the BBC before you'll catch it on television in the United States. Because people in the United States are not really interested in conflicts that happen in these smaller countries. We're kind of sitting inside, working from home and playing video games and hanging out in the air conditioning, eating pizza that we ordered from Domino's Pizza or something. Keir Starmer. I believe that the British people, the general public, that most of you are not fans of Mr. Starmer and do not like what's going on there. I don't think it's going to be forever. I think it's going to change. I have met a lot of people, though, from the United Kingdom that have relocated. I heard they're relocating all over the place. I heard that they're relocating to other Commonwealth nations. They're going to Canada. They like Perth, Australia for some reason. Very nice weather. It's kind of like San Diego, California. Very Mediterranean weather there. I've met a lot of Brits in Santa Monica, California, Florida, Texas too. They kind of like Austin, or San Pedro, California. But that's not the majority of Brits. A lot of Brits cannot afford to move out of England, especially if they want to move to England or retire in the United States somewhere. Yeah, it gets worse. It even gets worse. It gets worse than Fox News. MSNBC and CBS are just unbelievable. With hosts on their programs that are blatantly racially bigoted. They have hosts coming on, like on MSNBC and CNN, that are, I mean, just they're anti-Semitic, they're racially bigoted. And I never saw that on television when I was coming up. I never saw a person that was an anchor at a news station was just telling me the facts about something going on. It wasn't all these television programs on cable television, satellite television, and now on my smartphone with a bunch of people just telling me about what their opinion is all the time. I just wanted to get the facts from a news person and then form my own opinion. I did not want to watch a program where somebody is making a vain attempt to come up with an opinion for me to hand to me. I'm not looking for that. I have my own personal opinions. And a lot of those opinions I keep to myself. And the only reason those opinions might manifest into anything is in who I vote for at a municipal, county, state, or federal level. You got to remember, I was raised by a mother and father who were trained by their parents, who were United States federal government bureaucrats. And my parents learned from their parents to keep their mouth shut and not to talk about not to talk in public about religion or politics in the public square. And then I was taught the same thing. But now it's like it's in vogue to get on the internet and let the whole world know what your personal opinions are, what your politics are. There's people on all different platforms, TikTok, YouTube. What's the other ones? Instagram, X, and everything. They want to let you know all about their sexual orientation, how they feel about race and ethnicity ad nauseum. That's one in particular. It's the people that get on here and talk about race, ethnicity, national origin, and also the other crowd. Sometimes they come in one package. A lot of people come on these platforms and they want to talk about their sexual orientation and what they do in their personal lives in the bedroom. And I don't think I'm unique in not wanting to know any of that. I don't want to know what you do in the privacy of your own bedroom. You don't need to tell me because I don't want to hear it. Doesn't it make it a little bit more exciting when you keep your things that are sexual to yourself? It's kind of a secret, you know. You don't talk about what you do with your girlfriends and your wife and everything in public. Isn't that kind of rude? Yeah, there's quite a few wars. No, I don't work from home. A lot of people do though. Sometimes I voted for the wrong person. Dean Wilkinson says this man was awful. However, the author was essentially an advocate for illegal migration. And I was like, how is this in the news? This is one man's biased opinion in a national newspaper. It's called Growth When We Realize Our Mistakes, says at FFIIEELLDD. Thank you for coming in. But can anybody explain to me why people want to talk about their sexuality to the whole world? Why they feel a need to tell the whole world all the gory details of what they like to do in the bedroom? Isn't that kind of odd? Is it just odd to me because I'm 59 years old and I never heard like adults talking about, hey man, you never guess what I like to do with my girlfriend. It was kind of like no, it was nobody's business, right? It is odd. It's odd. It's so odd. And you know, let me tell you something about the younger generation in the West. This does not include other countries, but primarily, okay, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and particularly the United States and other Western countries, but really in the UK and the United States and Canada. It seems like not all of the younger people, they call them Generation Z, people that were born like 1996 or 7 to on, the young adults, you know, I guess they range in age from about maybe 28 to about maybe 40, the younger people, that crowd. About half of them, in my opinion, they're not bad people. They're not really socially liberal either. They're kind of middle of the road politically, and they work. They show up to work. But about half of these young people, they lie. They don't know what to do when they get to work. They don't know how to make eye contact when they're spoken to. They act like like a deer in the headlights. Like they're scared, like they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, it's a boomer. And he's actually using his real mouth to talk to me. That means I have to respond. You know, like they're not used to it. It's like they're used to being on the smartphone or the keyboard and constantly texting all the time. It's like they forgot how to talk or something. I'm saying about half of them, at least a third of them, are having communications problems, like verbal communications problems, issues that I think can be corrected with some therapy and some schooling. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think a lot of the younger people, I know in the United States, not all of them, but I think a nice chunk of the younger people, younger adults under 40, really got screwed in more ways than one. I think they were allowed by their teachers to lean on GPS and to get around, and smartphones, and now they're just going to ask for AI for everything. I don't think that many of the public schools in the United States properly educated young people for the last 15 years or so. And I think it's sad and it hurts them. And also, how would you like to be a guy that's working and working? You've been working, you go to school, you get out of college, you're working. Here you are, like, you know, you're like in your early 30s and you're like, damn, I'm tired of renting an apartment with this roommate I don't really like that much. And I would like to buy a house, you know. I like to like get a condominium or at least like a small house or something. Then you find out the average asking price of a house in the United States is like $415,000. That's just outrageous. I did not have that problem at that age. I didn't have that problem. I mean, houses were not a home. Even a condo was not out of reach for me in most areas, save New York City or San Francisco or some expensive place, right? But most of the, I could afford to pay my bills, and if I wanted to buy a house, I could buy a house at the age of, in my early 30s, you know. It's tough. It's tough on these younger guys. He asked what the round thing with a hole in it, it was a CD. And that is kind of funny. It becomes their entire personality. I think it's almost like standing out makes them fit in. Yes, I agree that Generation X is the best by most metrics. By most metrics. Anybody that was born in between like 1974, not 1974, 1964 to about 1980, in that range. And I was born in 1966, especially, you know there were some of us that were complete fuck ups. They had some of us when we were younger, not all of us, probably not most of us. We did dumb stuff when we were younger people too. We got in bar fights, and some of us got involved with rugs, wasted 10 years of our life and had to start our whole life over at the age of like 30 or something. There were like people living in their cars and doing rugs and chicking around out there in California. I remember there was gangs and all kinds of stuff, but it wasn't most people, but it was, I know not all the younger generations can't afford to move out and buy a home. What are they doing? Paying their parents for at least food and contributing towards the electrical bill? At least they could do that. You know, I bet you there's a lot of parents letting their kids like into their late 20s just go ahead and stay in the house, like rent their bedroom out, pay their mom or their mom and dad or their dad or something like that, and give them money towards food and for electricity. So they're not a burden after the age of 18. Um, and their parents are giving them an opportunity to chuck money in the bank and save money up for like a down payment on whatever. And I think that's a good thing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And yeah, don't show them a cassette, man. They're going to be like, what? You're a 70s baby. Greg Murray, 3181, was born in 1967. I was born in 1966. You know what I was? I was a poor kid. I had a Sears bike. I wasn't too poor. I wasn't on I didn't ride around on a Huffy, but I at least had a bike with a banana seat and a sissy bar and some fenders on my bike. I did not have I didn't have the 3-speed gear shift in the middle. I remember some of the more spoiled children had Schwinn Stingrays. We did not have everyone recording our life. I mean, some of this stuff we're just keeping to ourselves. We're just like not saying anything, right? Save up for a car. Yeah. I mean, if you love your kids and you know how much cars are and stuff like that, I agree with like letting your son or your daughter just stay until they're in their mid to late 20s and just save up all the money they can. Just chuck thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank. Just pay for food and electricity and mow the lawn and do what your parents tell you. Help your mom out. Take out the damn trash. They probably got a dad that's working about 70 hours a week, I think COVID did a mass psychosis on the country, especially California. California, man, I lived in California from 1987 to 2023. I moved out there when I was like 22 years old. It used to be a great place to live. I'll tell you what, 2016 is when everything started going downhill. Yeah. They changed the laws about shoplifting and they did all this sanctuary state stuff and there's just people living in tents everywhere. Greg Murray, I basically lived on Santa Cruz Boardwalk. Are you still living on Santa Cruz Boardwalk or do you got yourself a little place to stay? Greg, the average house in London is between 550,000 pounds and 680,000 pounds. The average wage around 35,000 pounds. That would make that in dollars. That's about what? About $70,000 US dollars a year. If you didn't eat or spend a single penny, 15 years could buy you one. California has a huge, I'm going to invent a new word called huge-mongous. It has a huge-mongous vagrancy problem. They have a lot of elderly people living in their cars waiting to get some subsidized housing. You got a lot of people who are abandoned by their families, who really aren't bad people that are hurting out there. You have some young guys out there that could probably unload trucks all day long. Like they could probably bale hay all day long, but they'd rather live in a tent with some skinny little drug addict girlfriend, and they'd rather run around and panhandle for money and do drugs and live in a tent and take a shower in the Salvation Army. They go during the day, take a shower in the Salvation Army. I've seen all different kinds of people on the street. Oh, you're in Tampa Bay there? I'm thinking about going to the Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area. I'm definitely thinking about Pinellas County. I'm thinking about Hillsborough County. I'm not going to Manatee County. My brother said Bradenton is not for me. I'm thinking about Plant City. I'm thinking about Brandon. I'm thinking about Pasco County. I don't like to spend a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? You went to Florida about 15 years ago, International Drive. Where is International Drive? Is that down in South Florida? I'm thinking about this Tampa, St. Petersburg area, maybe out in the suburbs somewhere. That's what my lady friend and I want to do. I'm also thinking about, crazy man. I lived in California for 34 years. I'm thinking about going down to Los Angeles County, of all places, because you know what? The cost of a home is going down there. This might be my only chance in my entire life to buy a condominium in Southern California. Because I know California is going to get fixed up. It's not going to stay like it is now. It's too important to the economy of the United States, and it's also a strategic military area, too. At the Gulf, a lot of people tell me that the Gulf of Mexico, the only downside is they have little waves, but the beaches are beautiful. And I've heard about Siesta Key is a nice beach, and Clearwater is a nice beach. And I've heard about like Bradenton has some beaches. I got a friend who used to be in the Green Berets. He works for the State Department now. He lives in the suburbs of Tampa, north of Tampa somewhere. Dylan Green, hi. How are you doing? The beaches are beautiful. My brother likes them. You ever hear of a place called Lakewood Ranch? It's a big giant development outside of Sarasota and Bradenton. He lives out there. He loves it. You've been to Jekyll Island and Simon's Island? It is nice there, isn't it? It's beautiful, isn't it? The United States has a lot of gems that a lot of people don't know about. You have to go exploring. There's different strokes for different folks. Some people want to get out of the cold when they get older. Some people like the mountains. We got mountains here too, gigantic mountains. I'll tell you a western state that's really nice is Utah. Utah, Colorado, Montana, these are beautiful states. No trash on the ground. People just don't litter there. Just a different breed of people. I think a lot of them have German background, a Dutch background, people that live out in the Rocky Mountains. Oh, you're originally from Georgia? Like Georgia in the United States? My lady friend is from Helen, Georgia. I've spent some time in Helen, Georgia, and Cleveland, Georgia, and Toccoa, Georgia, and Habersham County, Georgia, and Dahlonega, Georgia, and Cornelius. I spent about a year and a half of my life up there. Yeah, that's a really nice part of Georgia. Oh, you're not far from that? I think that Northeast Georgia is really nice. And if you need to go to the hospital, you get on the road. It's about 45 minutes from Cleveland, Georgia. You can drive down to Gainesville. Or maybe Dahlonega, it's maybe about 45 minutes down to Gainesville. Gainesville has a nice medical center. It's not too far away. Yeah, there are, but Utah is changing. It's not. It's diversifying religiously. You're up in the armpit of South Carolina near Clemson University. You're all the way up there. Are you in Are you near Anderson? Or are you near Oconee County? Yes, I know my country really well. I'm way up near. I'm in between Apex and I'm at about the halfway point between Apex and Raleigh, North Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina. I know where that is, Oconee. My lady friend lived up there with her ex-husband. That place is very, very rural. It's not as cheap as people think. They've got some people with money up there. You know what's real close to you? Across the state line, Rayburn County. You know what Rayburn County is? That's where all those hillbillies were from that movie Deliverance. The one with Burt Reynolds in it. With the deaf dumb and mute kid that played dueling banjos with that guy in the movie. Remember that? You could fit the whole UK in a state. Are you hillbilly? Are you from the hollers? Or are you town folk? You know where I learned how to fish? My great-grandfather had a place in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. I learned how to, and my granddad took me down there fishing. My mother's father taught me how to fish in the Shenandoah Valley in a big giant lake down there. That's a really beautiful, oh, Seneca. I know where Seneca is. I know they are. I know they are. They're very clean. Very, very clean. The water, the city water tastes good there. I was in a little town near Helen called Cleveland, Georgia. It's in White County, Georgia. And everywhere I was around there, even a water fountain, the city water tastes great there. Mr. Rainbow loves coffee. Good day to you, young man. Good day to you too. Thank you for coming in. Nicola, sometimes when you get that feeling, I reach for a Powerade Zero. It makes me feel like a real winner. Yes, I was made aware of that about those Cabbage Patch dolls. The Cabbage Patch Hospital. And my lady friend, she's a retired part-time deputy sheriff from Habersham County, Georgia. If you know where that is. Little town called Clarksville there. And her family is related to the people that have that those chicken processing plants there. Yes, she is. She grew up in Clarksville and Helen, both places, and she moved over to Helen, and then she moved over to Cleveland. She went to high school in White County, and then she has relatives that live around there. She has relatives that live in Cornelius. She has relatives that live in Toccoa. She has relatives that live in Habersham County, and Helen, where else? She has cousins that live in a hamlet called Kinseytown, and some other cousins that live off of Duncan Bridge Road, if you know where those places are. Yeah. I've been to Brunswick. That's a little itty bitty town that's going to get bigger. It's going to connect with Waycross pretty soon. That Brunswick's going to get built up. That's a real interesting bridge they got down there. I know, maybe you know my old lady. Oh, you lived in Atlanta? Yo, I remember when Atlanta was getting built up, when it used to be kind of nice and stuff, when they first invented the MARTA and all that. And, yo, man, have you ever been to the Greyhound bus station? And, ever been to the Greyhound bus station? And, in Atlanta. That dumpy liquor store right across the street. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, how you doing, Miss Julie Newman? What are you doing today? Did you fix your hair?
I'm doing some pictures.
Let me see your hairdo. Your hair looks really good today. Give me a smile. Look very pretty today, Julie.
I'm doing some pictures.
Are you making pictures on your phone? You can go to her YouTube channel. And the name of your YouTube channel is what?
Julie Newman.
Julie Newman. One word?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's Julie. That's my carpet, and this is me. Well, when I was young and had no sense, I had an encounter with an electric fence. Mr. Rainbow loves coffee. I took a Greyhound one way from Stone Mountain back to Los Angeles, and I will never do that again. I will pay for airfare, and Greyhound are bad, at least for me. Oh my God. The Greyhound bus is just, it's too far to go. It's ridiculous going across country. I did it when I was younger, but I gave up on that business. I'd rather take a train. The beautiful and famous Julie Newman. You might have heard her voice. She did some cartoon character voiceovers in her past. I will. One moment. Oh, Julie. Did you ever go? Julie. Oh, Julie. Did you ever go to Stone Mountain and watch the laser show? There's a laser show at Stone Mountain. Have you ever been to Stone Mountain? And what about Stone Mountain? You saw a laser show? Who do you think you are? Well, who do you think you are? Oh, really? I watched your hair today. You know that? Do you like your hair this style like this? Like it shorter?
Yeah.
Were you playing with your hair? You want bangs?
I'm doing this for a
Oh, you're in that contest, aren't you? That's what you're doing? What's going on? What's all that? You're funny. Yeah, she's been there before. She told me. She never saw a laser show there, but she's been there. Creepy Conrad, 34, special vehicle, 234/4 Puma with a PAC 40 anti-tank gun, 40 model, 1942 loaded Panzer Grenade 39 armor-piercing, high-explosive projectile with ballistic hood. They're armor-piercing and they're explosive once they go through the armor. Are you talking about those projectiles that pop through tanks and they cause a chemical reaction inside of the tank and melt everybody and suck the enemy out of the hole? They have stuff like that. They have some really nasty weapons. Yeah, Dean, that's what she did. Cartoon character voiceovers. A lot of people do that. Pockwagon. Mr. Rainbow loves coffee. The public transportation here in Israel is so much superior than the United States. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's true. U.S. transportation is not so great, except for maybe New York. Yes, I wish that they would have a safer public transportation system in Los Angeles. We have some issues going on in California right now with people acting up and acting any way they want. But that's not for long. No, I do not read German. I can say words that sound German, like Messerschmitt or Stuka, sauerkraut. Does this count or is this Dutch? What is this? Haagen-Dazs. I do know that English originally came from a German language. Well, looky there. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes. It's about time for me to go, but not before I have a cool and refreshing swig of my favorite drink. Powerade Zero by the Coca-Cola Company. You know, every time I get thirsty, I don't really have to think about it. I just take action and I reach for a bottle of Powerade Zero. It's cool. It's refreshing. And you know what? When I drink Powerade Zero, it makes me feel like a real winner. A winner, I says. You know, when you watch Hollywoodland22 on YouTube, it makes you a winner too. A driver, a winner. Things are going to change for you for the best. I can feel it. Thank you for hitting the like and the subscribe button. I do appreciate it. I do have a goal of getting 500 subscribers by the end of Saturday, by 11:59 p.m. this Saturday. Let's see if we can do it together. Thank you very much for coming in. I'm going to have to go now. I usually don't come on Mondays. I might take a couple of days off and come back on Thursday. Okay? I'm not sure, but I might come back tomorrow. You never know. And Panda Stalker Reels. This dude, I am a dude. You got that right. This dude is trying to run a cult by the sounds of it. I think one was Sandy the Squirrel on SpongeBob for a short period of time. She was a fill-in, but I can't say anymore. There's other cartoon characters she did. She's been on television before. Not too much. More people have been on television doing small parts in television shows than you might realize. She never got famous. You like my attitude? It's refreshing. Well, I'm glad that I'm cool and refreshing to you. It kind of makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Thank you for coming in, Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. He's a dude, and we're his fans, not a cult. Man, it's been a good night. Yes, it has. It's been a good night. You all stay safe. And if you can save up enough money, if you really want to leave the UK, I would recommend trying to get to Florida. I think you'd like it. I love you guys. You guys are beautiful. Thank you for all the help that you've given me. And thanks for just coming and spending part of your time with me. I know that time is the real currency. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.